topic of discuss this morning. And before we bring that to your screen, let's start with this. There's a quote from John Fred Kennedy that says, "Forgive your enemies, but never forget their names." What do you have to say about that, Eric?
Forgive your enemies and never forget their names. It is very clear that you have let go, but you're very cautious and very careful so that what happened the first time might not repeat itself. So I think that is the best way to describe that. As humans, yes, we have to be free, have the free spirit, but I think we also need to be careful of danger, because danger is roaming all around. If you're not careful, what happened the first time will definitely happen the second time. It will happen over and over again. But it's always right for us to forgive as children of God, because it is said that you should not hold more than 70 times 7. So you have to forgive. It is compulsory. You have to forgive. But at the same time, you have to be very, very careful. If you're eating, you have to eat from, I think,
Long spoon?
yes, with a long spoon, but that does not mean that you don't have to forgive. I think there's always this peace, this inner joy, when you're not harboring anybody in mind, when you do not carry anybody in mind, when you see someone and you can be able to interface with that person and say hello, good morning, rather than when you see someone, you start taking this angle. When the person sees you, you just change the direction at every point in time. So it is nice for us to always forgive, but we have to be attentive, pay attention to what is happening within us.
But is it okay, or do you think there is total forgiveness when you don't forget?
At some point, I would say forgive and forget is the perfect word to use.
Okay.
When a man forgives and he does not forget, I think there is, on a scale of 1 to 100, the forgiveness is not really, really complete, you understand? Because trust has to really do with forgiveness. Imagine you are very, very close with a particular person and you share a lot of secrets together, you do things together, you trust this person completely and you get hurt. Most times it's really difficult to forget, you understand? You can maybe forgive and let go for the meantime or for the time being, but totally there's no 100% forgiveness because you have not forgotten about the issue. So I think it's always good to forgive and forget. I still apply precautionary measures to see how you can be able not to go back to what happened before.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother David Eri. Let's also bring in Sister Ruth into the discourse. Now, there's another quote from Mahatma Gandhi that says, "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong." What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's somehow, let's say, dicey.
Okay.
You know, the weak can never forgive. Actually,
Forgiveness is for the strong.
yeah, it's for the strong. Honestly speaking, people who forgive have a larger heart.
Okay.
But even in the process, you should be wise enough to be careful to use a longer spoon after the forgiveness. You know, that is where the question you asked, Brother Eric, comes in. You know,
Okay.
total forgiveness without, you know, forgetting. Yeah. So yeah, I do agree that the forgiveness is actually for the strong, because it's not everybody. I mean, imagine me breaking your laptop with so much, you have so much information there, and I'm fully aware that you have so much information, but now I'm hiding under the umbrella of anger and, you know, destroying, knowing fully well that it's not just about that. I just want to render you, you know, kind of useless or something, you know, and I go ahead and destroy the laptop. Tell me, how are you going to, like, knowing fully well that I'm aware, like, I am your friend, I literally know everything in that laptop, and I still go ahead and destroy it? Would you forgive me?
Okay.
Like, do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
But some people, even in the process, they'll still be like, it's the devil. It's the devil. I would rather forgive you and move on, but, you know, maybe be careful sometimes around you, just in case anything like that arises, because there is no man that is totally perfect. I might get you upset again, and then this time around it might just be everything. Maybe even my it might be where I stored everything. Maybe you just get the flash and destroy it, because, you know, that's how your anger takes you, where your anger takes you. So yeah, I totally agree that forgiveness is for those with a larger heart, and then those who don't forgive at all, I feel like they are weaklings. I am so sorry to say that.
Thank you. Let's also relate this to the situation or circumstances between mortal and immortal being, that is God and we humans, where we sin over and over again. We sin this minute and then we pray for forgiveness and God keeps forgiving us, and then the next minute we sin again and he keeps forgiving us. So what happens, or do you even think, I know we cannot even read the minds of God, but let's just try to figure out something relating to forgiving and forgetting. Do you think God forgives us but does not forget our sins?
To me?
Yes, to you.
Okay. I feel like God forgives. He forgives and he forgets.
Okay.
But there is this law that exists, that whatsoever a man soweth, same shall he reap.
Okay.
So I feel like we should trade, even though we know that God has the softest spot for we humans. You know, we should also trade with caution, knowing fully well that that same law he applied. In fact, he created that law because he knows who we are, that we will always come back crying. Okay. So he created the natural law that whatsoever you sow, same shall you reap. So even though you have sinned and you have gone to him, you have cried, he would forgive you. But the same hand, the same sword you drew, using, cutting off someone's ear, another person, the same spirit will enter the person it took, and the person will also.
Okay, let's hear from our first caller this morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Hello, good morning. Can you hear us? Hello. Okay, we lost that caller. Please do well to call the phone line again on your screen. It still remains +234 7044 802883. We are here to also get your opinion or your contribution on what we are discussing this morning. Over to you, Sister Ruth.
All right, thank you so much. Do well to call back, all right? So as I was saying, if you do something intentionally, believing that, okay, God has the softest spot for mortals, that you would always go back. You do it intentionally. Remember, it's not like you did it ignorantly, and God knows everything we do, even the thoughts, the one that we've not yet, groomed or nurtured. He knows it already. And now you do this intentionally, believing that you would go cry to him, fake your, pretend to be very sober, he would forgive you. That's how I think, because I see people right before me. I see when they nurture plants, even though from afar, I see when they exhibit it. I see where they make you feel like you are actually the victim. Okay. And sometimes I see how it comes back. It falls on them, So it does not necessarily mean because you went to beg for forgiveness, or after hurting, or after being in the wrong, you went to pay your tithe, you went to celebrate feast, and the rest, that the things you did will not come back to you. Okay. So yeah, I feel God forgives us as humans. But then again, I feel like if you were ignorant about what you did and only realized after doing it, and then immediately, without wasting time, you go on your bended knees and beg, he knows. He knows that you did not know what you were doing. But for the people who are fully aware of their actions, I feel like those set of people would actually get, it is going to be like a boomerang. What you throw out there is going to return to you. That's if you did it consciously. But the ones who don't do it consciously, I feel like those are the ones he would, I don't know.
Okay,
it's not possible to read God's mind.
David Eric, if God truly forgives and forgets us, why do we still have to pay for our sins?
Sister Ruth has already given us a pathway. I think, let me just digress a little. Okay. Looking at the word reconciliation, when you first asked earlier, I think it is the coming together of a common ground, to be on a common ground. There might be no total forgiveness, but it's just to reduce the whole style surrounding at that particular point in time. Let us just come together and have a common understanding on a common ground. What is really going on? Like two persons might be quarreling, so heated up, and someone just tries to break in and see how we can just reconcile and have a perfect atmosphere. Now, this is not total forgiveness, mind you. This is not total forgiveness. Total forgiveness has to do with purging out everything that is inside you and trying to see how your mind, you will be free of everything, Now, to God our Father, God cannot be equated, I will always say, to anything evil, to anything bad. There is a natural law that is existing, and we as humans, we must definitely pass through this natural law. Once we sin against God, we have been given this grace through our Lord Jesus Christ, and he has died for our sins, definitely we will always be pardoned. But you understand that anything a man does, definitely it's going to wait for him. You're going to come pass through that same cycle. If it is positive, you inserted, definitely you're going to be receiving positive. If it is negative, you inserted, definitely you'll be receiving negative. So at this point in time, we are the ones doing the things for our own self, understand? God has already given us the guidelines, everything.
We are the ones choosing our blessings, right?
Okay.
Instantly. So if you commit a sin and you ask for forgiveness, you will be forgiven. But there's a repercussion for what you have done, understand? At that point in time, it's anything a man sows, definitely you will reap. You cannot skip
I have something to add up, let me also bring in the children, the little children. You see, they do a lot of things growing up. That's because they are unconscious. Yeah. They are not conscious of what they are doing. So they might even destroy something worth millions. And I'm very, very sure in my heart that it is not counted for them because they don't know what they are doing. Honestly, you see most of them, they even take something, they take substance that naturally would kill mortal, but they don't get killed. That's one thing that makes me to know that God is always with them and that he knows that they are ignorant, and that is why he has never allowed their ignorance, the ignorance of a child, to kill them, most of them to kill them. I am also an embodiment of testimony because I've also taken something. I did not just take, I gave some to my twin sister. Okay. But we are still here. He didn't let us go in the process because we didn't know what we were doing back then. Alongside other children, I've seen a woman almost, going out naked to the main road. I had to grab her because of what the child just took. She was like, I've lost the child. The child is going to, I told her, no. This is what you have to do. She was like, are you sure? I said, yes, my mom used it on us and we're fine. She was like, okay, what's the quantity? I told her. And then she was a bit calm. Now, that is God. If an adult takes the same quantity or even a smaller quantity, it's going to be RIP for the adult. But it is not counted to them because they are ignorant. Once they grow up and start knowing what they are doing, I like saying on this side that everybody knows what they are doing. There is no ignorant man except for the little ones. So once they grow up and start knowing they can decipher their left from their right, that is when they start counting for them, because nobody will tell you again, put your hand in the fire and you still proceed, because fire is hot and it will definitely burn your hand. So you'll be like, no, I can't do that.
Okay, thank you very much, Sister Ruth and Brother David Eric. However, that's not our topic of discourse this morning. Before we unwrap our topic of discourse this morning, let us take a quick break. We'll be right back. Enye kesese, edi enye isorokuyo, enye kokoku, edi enye isorokuyo. Olumba edi andi kanemyofyo de kuprumpo enye kesese kokokut odiongo edi enye isiorokuyo enye kesese edi enye isiorokuyo enye kokokut edi enye isiorokuyo Olumba edi andi kanemyofyo de kuprumpo enye kesese kokokut odiongo edi enye isiorokuyo
afu udbeke kakade ndikura beko afu udbeke kakade ndibiangambo Olumba ono anami yoganya nuru manenya pakabaresu papa kesese kokoko oriongo eri enye isiorokuyo enye kesese enye isiorokuyo enye kokoko enye isiorokuyo Olumba eri andi kanemyofyo
Papa kememe kefefen on of you edi isu wakaba
Welcome back. It is still the Morning Star Breakfast show here on Star Cross Television. As usual, we are here to remind us of most of those things we have learnt and forgotten due to life hustles and struggles. Before we went on that quick break, we were actually having a pep talk on the power of forgiveness and why it is okay for you to forgive and forget, and then why it is okay for you to also, you know, let go of the things, hurtful things people have done, just so in case, just like we were discussing behind the camera, you do not know who is going to be your helper tomorrow. Just because you're bearing grudges with this person, you wouldn't be able to relate to, okay, this is my problem, this is the solution I need, or maybe that person you're bearing grudges with could be the instant solution you need. So there is no need for you to, you know, bear grudges, bear malice or something. Just keep an open mind and then forgive and forget whoever has caused something or done something very bad to you. That now brings us to our topic of discuss this morning, which is centered on the power of reconciliation. The power of reconciliation is our topic of discuss this morning. Our phone line is still displayed on your screen, and our social media handles are still open, so please do well to call the phone line, or you could also drop your contributions, your comments on either our Facebook on Starcross TV prayer line, or BCS Starcross TV International on either our Facebook or our YouTube platform. Let's also tag along. Let's get to know what your take is on the power of reconciliation. Now, let's start by asking Sister Ruth, what is reconciliation?
All right, thank you so very much. Reconciliation is the restoration of a friendly relationship, okay, or something, you know. Reconciliation often has to do with people who have been together before. It doesn't necessarily have to be by marriage or that kind of closeness, you know. So these are people you have known before, and maybe along the line you two had fracas, you know, misunderstanding. Then it became almost impossible to resolve the problem, and okay, then later on the two have a mutual understanding to, you know, come together and sort their differences. This is what reconciliation truly means. Okay, thank you very much, Brother Eric. Do you have something different to add?
Well, I think Sister Ruth has said everything, but I would just say reconciliation is not really total forgiveness. Okay. I think it is the putting in of peace, maybe in a hostile environment for benefits. Reconciliation, I think it always centers on benefits. you can see, for example, there may be two countries having an issue. At the end of the day, they will just try to have reconciliation and come to a common ground to see what they can benefit. But there's no total forgiveness, whereby one is still thinking of how he or she wants to hurt this other nation. But I think it is just putting in peace at instance to just make sure that everywhere is calm for the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. Talking about peace and empathy. Now, let's, in what way do you think reconciliation can foster empathy in an organization or maybe a society?
It is very, very important. We have to understand that if there is no peace, if there is no togetherness in a particular place, there will be no growth.
Okay.
We just have to, that's why I say reconciliation is very, very important. It's, should I say it is a diplomatic means of making sure that everything goes well. There may be no total forgiveness. For example, two persons might be in a space, working in a space inside an organization. They may have gotten fracas outside and they brought it inside. You know, if they are not reconciled and the both of them are supposed to bring out the end product of their department, and if they are not reconciled, definitely you will know that they will not be able to produce the right things they need to do given to them by their company. So it is very understandable that reconciliation has to play a greater part around them to make sure they produce what they need to produce. It is something that is just logical, but it does not go down deep to solve the whole problem on a scale of
Okay,
100.
Desmond Tutu also made us understand that without forgiveness, there is no future. And now you've also made us understand that reconciliation is not total forgiveness.
Yes, it is not.
Yes, but at least just purge
For
yourself.
a common goal.
Yeah, purge yourself from anything someone has done to you.
Yeah.
Just so, for instance, maybe if both of you are in the same environment or
Yes.
organization, just for the growth of that organization,
The common goal.
do not harbor one or two persons in mind, because they, okay,
I
now let's say,
feel, they will still harbor, but that I don't know how to
if they
actually.
still harbor, then I don't think there's total forgiveness.
No, that's what I'm saying. Reconciliation is not really total forgiveness. It is not really total forgiveness, but most times it's the coming together for a particular goal. Let me use for a particular goal. Now there can be reconciliation with you and God. You know, in the days of old, there were covenants where man had to go into covenant with God,
Okay.
or God had to go into covenant with man. It's always very different. Now, using ourselves as mortals, understand, reconciliation. We can reconcile. Okay, let me use the aspect of sports. We can have two persons quarreling very well. The place is tensed up. We know the power embedded in football as the case of the men. Understand? This can bring two nations together. They reconcile automatically without proper forgiveness, telling this person that you did this, you did. They reconcile because of a common goal. Maybe they are supporting a common team or they're supporting a common nation. Understand? They have reconciled, but it has not gone down totally, because this one I've not said. For me, for you to get 100% forgiveness, total forgiveness, this other party need to acknowledge the fact that he has offended this party. You need to. That's why you say you have to tell your sins. When you want to confess, you confess your sins totally, to know that this is what and what you have done. You're not hiding some inside. So when you reconcile without no explanation, there's no total forgiveness, what are you looking for? You're just looking for a common ground, for peace to just reign at that particular point in time. Imagine you going to separate two children who are fighting and you just say, stop, and you hug yourself, they are reconciled. But you do not ask them what happened, so you can get to the bottom of the stuff and settle it forever. You can reconcile the two children, and the next minute when you leave, you hear they are still fighting somewhere. So I think reconciliation is just for us to have a common goal or peace at that particular point in time.
Okay, Sister Ruth, there's this natural feeling when you are bearing grudge with somebody. Now, let's say, okay, we had a misunderstanding yesterday, for instance, and then today we are on set together today. There is this natural feeling of awkwardness that will surround this environment, because we had a misunderstanding yesterday. I might not be able to even look at you to say anything to you, or maybe to make sure this program is flowing. Now, that brings me to the question: how can the process of reconciliation contribute to healing emotional and psychological wounds relating to the scenario where you are bearing grudges with someone, and then seeing this person coming toward this direction, you want to take this direction. Because of that, you do not have that inner peace. So how can this process of reconciliation heal our emotional and psychological wounds?
Thank you very much. In a way, I feel like Bro Eric has attended to this question already. Yeah, because the only way you can heal psychological wounds is when you sit down and talk about what got you upset in the first place. Otherwise, you coming to tell me sorry does not make any sense, you know. And I'm sure it won't also make sense to you if I just come and tell you sorry without acknowledging the things I did to you, the hurtful words I threw at you.
Okay.
I feel like the only way out is for me to acknowledge them the same way we acknowledge our sins before God. Yes, we say everything because it is God, He's our confidence. We pour even the ones normally that you will not say even at gunpoint. When you go to God, you release you bring out all the things you have done in the secret. I feel like we should also apply the same to we humans, to fellow humans, to not just say sorry, but to go deep into it, say all the things you did, and then apologize. And then the other person at the other end should also make sure to list everything, and not just listing, also list and then maybe say you would not do anything like that again. I was carried away by whatever. Maybe someone got me upset. Look for any excuse, you know. I feel like that's what they call white lies. You are trying to make peace, so you can, you know, just bring in any fair excuse that this is what made you do this, even though nothing actually made you do what you did. You did it because you just wanted to do it. Everybody is aware of their actions, right? So if you point out all this, it's going to heal the psychological wounds and then make working. What was the question again? Make the
psychology. How does
or
it
create
heal?
a synergy?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it.
Okay, now you're talking about the person saying all of those things, like coming to you to say, okay, this was the reason why I said this was the reason why I said this. Okay, because of that, I am sorry. That is your take. So what happens? There are people who naturally they don't want to talk about whatever that happened in the past. They just allow it to go. And then by that, they have already forgiven themselves and forgiven whatever that had transpired or forgotten whatever that had transpired. Do you think that is the right process?
That's not possible.
Let me come in. That's not the right thing to do.
Okay.
I mean, some people have so much ego. Their ego is as tall as the highest building.
Okay.
You know, they would never come down from their high horses to say sorry. But sometimes their actions is already telling you that they are sorry. But what is weakening them is how to bring it out. Like, I am so high and mighty. How dare I come and tell an ant sorry for what, you know, the mighty did. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But some of it, when they do this, you see their actions begin to reflect that they are actually, you know, retracing their steps.
Okay.
You know, some people are like that. They use they change totally, you know. They can just be, okay, let me take for instance, let's take parents for instance. Parents are some people with so much ego. It's some parents, not all, some parents, they will be like, I can't apologize. My Nigerian mothers and fathers, you know what I'm saying? They will not tell you, sorry, oh, I dealt with you wrongly. It was not your fault. It was actually the second child's fault or the first child's fault. But because you look like a suspect every time, I had to punish you. Some of them will not even say sorry, you know. After the punishment, they will realize, oh, what they did was wrong. They won't tell you, hey, child, sorry. You know what they would do? They might get to your favorite thing. They might decide, okay, I want to do this for this child. I want to do that for that child. The child maybe had been asking you for a computer game and never did you have money to get it. All of a sudden, money suddenly comes out. You get that child a computer game. Don't you think this is another way that child's parent is saying sorry without actually saying it out?
Yeah.
You know, some will not have the money to go buy all these luxury things. They might decide to cook only that child's favorite. They know that in a family of maybe 7 or 8, this child likes a particular dish, and they will just go for that dish just to lighten up the child's, you know, emotions, you know, and then make sure they feed you over. That is them. In their mind, they have told you sorry, actually, without actually saying it out. So that, yeah, that's one is, I don't know, might also be accepted because as an intelligent, if you are also intelligent, you know, you should know that this person has said, actually sorry without saying it out because they have so much ego. That's how they were built. Just the same way snakes were built to, you know, with so much poison that when they bite you, they pass on. They are not doing bad. That's their nature. Okay. So whereas even humans, some humans have their own nature of never saying sorry. But letting their actions reflect their heart. Okay. I feel like it should also be taken.
Brother Eric was saying it's not possible. Let's also hear from him.
No, I do not buy into that.
Okay.
A man who does not speak out to acknowledge and accept, that is not forgiveness. I will just keep it at reconciliation because we want to have a common goal. I'll put it in that way. Imagine you hurting somebody so badly and you have refused to acknowledge, like Sister Rita said, to acknowledge the fact that you have hurt the person, to just even agree and tell the person you are sorry, and you start sending gifts to the person. How would that sound? The person might just accept it for the meantime. Maybe there are some gesture you're going to give out to the person. You can see yourself having a common ground. You start smiling again. But there's no real total forgiveness because there has not been proper explanation from the both parties. You saying, you did this to me, I did not like it. What brings two persons together is the aspect whereby there must be problem. And there must be a room for you to explain. Hotly, bitterly, you have to explain yourself to a point like you cannot come back. And you try to find a common ground. You will see at that point in time there's total forgiveness. Then the one that you use, I'll call it a trickish means to say you're reconciling and forgiving. At the end of
Political
the day,
means.
at the end of the day, you see yourself still going back, getting hot.
Yeah.
Let me say, for example, now you have a very heated conversation with a friend, a close friend, and nobody is willing to say, I'm sorry. And the other your friend comes and gets you a pack of something you normally love for lunch, and he drops it on your table, and you come, you say, who dropped this thing? Someone, maybe another colleague tells you this is the person, and you secretly, so you collected it. You will just find out that their reconciliation will just be based on the surface. They will be scared to go down. This is where you say, someone has forgiven you but has not totally forgiven you. You have to pause yourself. Someone needs to start. We need to come down to the lowest point and start to accept the fact that we have offended ourselves. So you cannot say gestures can make somebody to forgive and forget completely. No. Someone needs to be accountable. It's either the mighty comes down to meet the smaller one. Most times, the mighty ones offend the smaller ones, and they did not see room to say sorry, which is not nice. Everybody.
Okay, let's consider the situation or scenario of employer and employee. Now, let's say the employer is this mighty in your own explanation, and the employee is the little person who was offended by the employer. So, are you saying that the employer should come down to say sorry to the employee?
It might not be at instant, but every human being has a point where you have to reflect and know, and you will feel it within you that you have done something wrong. Let me use myself for example. I always have this inner peace. If I have offended somebody and I try every means to go back, no matter how long it takes, you will definitely know you have offended somebody. So you have to take your time and go back and meet that person. Even if you go trickishly to meet that person, but at some point in time, you have to open up. You have to earn it. You have to accept the fact that you have offended somebody. This is where totally the person can now say, okay, this person have accepted, so he has known that you have offended him, and then he can now forgive you completely. If you go trickishly, you also be forgiving trickishly. That is the simple truth. You have to open up and accept. The first thing is for you to accept that you have offended somebody, no matter how up you are there. You cannot go maybe at instant being the fact that you are the boss, but at some point in time, you might have the reflection. Maybe when everywhere is calm, it might not go at that heated point. Maybe when everywhere is calm, you call your employee and say, okay, I know I have wronged you, maybe the atmosphere and so on and so forth. Okay, please don't be angry. You must understand that, yes.
Let me ask Eric, what about parents? The case of parents and their children. Do you think they also, their children would also,
understand?
Expect them, yeah.
Yes, to forgive. No, to come
explain.
out and say, sorry.
It is natural. It is natural.
Amongst African parents, bro.
Yes,
Eric.
I understand. Like me, let me use myself for example. Growing up, when our mom beat us when we were much younger, she always have a point whereby she want to explain and tell us that this was the thing we did, and she will give us room for us to understand that we were wrong. I know not all parents will want to toe that line, but I think it is important that as parents, we should not have that ego when we correct our children. To them, they might be sick. We might look at them very small. Remember, our father said, no man in flesh. Most of the children are coming, some of them are forefathers who are more greater than us in spirit. So at some point in time, even when you cane a child for correction's sake, you still need to call the child when the child is calm and try to make him see reasons and say, oh, maybe on the point of correcting the child, you might have even enjoyed the child, and you have given the child his scar.
Right.
Understand? But you're correcting him. It is therefore in your place to make him understand that this car, I'm sorry I did this to you, but this is what I want you did. And in future, if you continue doing this, you will have more and more of these cars. And the child is going to pick and get it. So it's also good for parents to also make their children understand that this is it. A parent can apologize to a child. This is where to create the room for a child to understand that apology is also very, very important. Imagine you as a parent, you do things in front of your children and you do not see any reason to apologize. Maybe as a father, you offend your wife, and you may feel that a 2-year-old child is not seeing, is not watching. As a father, you offend the mother and you do not see any reason to say, oh mother, I'm sorry for what I did. Your 2-year-old baby will be watching and you'll be shocked that your child does something, and the child at that tender age don't see any reason why you see some children where you know when you go to the school, you see some children are so funny, you ask yourself, did they really come from planet Earth or another universe? Some children are bent. I had some classmates when I was growing up that they feel that saying sorry is an abomination.
Okay.
They feel so entitled. So most of these things, you don't pick it from afar. You pick it from close.
Okay.
So I feel at every point in time, no matter how mighty you are, if you have offended anybody, you have to look for the best base to make sure you explain. You tell the person that he or she, you have wronged this person and you need the forgiveness. Definitely, the person will forgive you totally, completely. But
okay, I think we have a comment in line with our discussion. Sister Ruth, help us out.
Yeah, I think this one has to do with the chit chat we had earlier today from Brother Ita Henry. He says, Omo, last, man is still man, and man is a sinner in nature. It's like a computer program. We have been programmed to sin as long as we are on this earth plane. The only thing is for us to confess.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Ita Henry, for contributing to our chit chat earlier before we commenced discussion on the power of reconciliation. So you could as well call the phone line on your screen, or you drop your comment or your input on either our YouTube or our Facebook platform. So now let's look at a more dicey or a more serious situation that has to do with trust and betrayal. Using the story of Samson and Delilah, for instance. Samson trusted Delilah to a fault that he even had to reveal the secrets behind his powers. But Delilah, on the other hand, betrayed the trust Samson had for her or in her, whatever. But in that situation, what can you even say about, what can you learn about that story of Samson trusting Delilah and Delilah, on the other hand, betraying the trust? Brother Eric.
All right. This is a common scenario that will continue to happen. It has happened. It will not stop happening, and it will continue to happen. You see the aspect of trust and betrayal. This is what has separated families, communities, nations, and so on and so forth. It has happened, and it will continue to happen. I think at this particular point in time, it all depends on the parties both affected. We can say, for example, two friends must have trusted themselves to a point where maybe this other one will say, okay, keep the money, let us contribute money, you in question, hold the money, and when it has gotten to some amount, we're going to invest together. Maybe this other friend is not really knowledgeable and does not know how things work, but he trusts his friend, and he continues to hand over money, and he is taking record though. When it has gotten to that particular point in time, he went to meet this other friend. The money has gotten to this point, so how can we invest? This other friend now who is more knowledgeable now said that, who did you give money? Maybe this other one was not taking account. He does not know that you have to write or document or have lawyers or stuff like that, understand? This other one now trying to play very smart and say, you did not give me any money, and he used this money to invest and taking care of his own family, and this other one's own family is not doing well. At this point in time, there is no, if you take something divine, highly divine, to see this man trusting another person, it will take something wonderful, beautiful, and amazing for this man to say he wants to trust another person. It is not easy for you to trust in someone, mostly looking at the current time we find ourselves. For you to trust someone and you are betrayed, it will take a whole lot. Even if we are coming back to reconciliation and they want to put in peace to make sure that the both parties are okay, you will see this person will still have fragments left around him. For him to build another wall of trust, not even to that person, that it will take something different, something divine, something magnificent. So I feel at this particular point in time, the thing we can move from this point is that once someone has trusted you, you have to try by all means, no matter what, to see how you can keep this trust. It's like a covenant. You have to try and see how you can by all means, because once you betray, it is very hard to go back to the original stage. Imagine you breaking this laptop. If you computing it back again, you will see that there will still be fragments. It will never take the original shape that it was before, when it was beautiful, smooth, and very, very unique. At this point in time, you have seen that your broken trust, the aspect of forgiveness might not really come on 100. Something exceptional has to take place before you can have that total forgiveness coming back. So I think we just need to avoid that, in short, from the beginning.
Okay,
let me add to what he said about forgiveness, right? It has to do with trust and betrayal. Yes, I feel like that's trust there and lesson, you know. Fine, he has said that when somebody trusts you, you have to see how you can to try your possible best to see how you can maintain that trust and never to betray. But I have this to say. I want to divert or deviate a little, you know. What happened there with this story of Delilah and Samson is just a reminder that there is a power in, a little power in secrecy. You know, the betrayal would not have come into play if only Samson had understood that there is nothing wrong with withholding some information. You know, you are not hurting her. It has nothing to do with the love he has for her. You know, some things are better kept private than to come into light. Remember, there was an instance I created here on set. I don't know if it was with Sister Stella, or I know you were here, or Sister P. Smith. I can't remember. Some things are better kept private, so it doesn't lead to betrayal. Sometimes we are the ones who open doors for people to come in and betray us, because what nobody knows about you, the person has no power. You know, you only see the person, you do not know how and where to hurt the person, because you are confused. First, you don't know where this person stays, you don't know what this person does, you don't know this person's capability. Like, do you what if you go, is this person fully armed? You know, this person looks quiet, but I heard quiet people are quite dangerous. What if I go, this person is fully armed? And you know, all these things will come, and some people like, I better withdraw, you know, so that I don't even get myself into trouble. So this betrayal and trust, it's okay for you to trust somebody, but even in the process of trusting somebody, remember, you were not raised by the same parent. The way your own parent, like Brother Eric rightly said, that sometimes you see some children and you're like, were they actually raised? These things often, you know, it happens. It does not mean you that was raised perfectly, or you are better than the other person. I mean, there is another thing they inculcated in the other child that you were not given, you get, and you may never be given, because that's how God has made it to be, so that you would also need the other person's help, while the other person will need your own help, because you were raised in some kind of way, right? So when you see people betray trust, sometimes it's not because they actually want to betray this trust. It's their mindset, their belief, the things they have made them to believe growing up, or what they have grown up to believe, you know, maybe peer pressure or something, to let them know that some things you just have to spill. Some things you rather not, you know, put a lock on it. You rather keep it open, because like, what are you even being like hiding this from, and from like for, and from who? So when this thing happens, people get to betray it, because now somebody has been able to lick your weak points. Oh, if you do this, Brother Eric will do like this, and when he does like that, you can give him a punch. You know, if you do this, Sister Stella will do like, when that happens, you can take maybe Sister Stella's laptop or something. These are things because you refuse to put a lock on your door, and so anybody can walk through and take what they want and do what they like, which has to do with the betrayal.
Okay, beautiful. Now let's look at it from this perspective. Talking about the role of a third party. Let's still use the story of Samson and Delilah. Now let's say with the amount of trust Samson had in Delilah, Delilah on the other hand broke the trust by revealing the secret of Samson's power. Now let's say, for instance, now there was someone to mediate between these two persons, like to make sure there is peace, they have reconciled, and then to make sure that that trust, I know the trust can never be built again 100%. There should still be some patches somewhere. Samson will never have that 100% trust he had for Delilah again because of the betrayal. What is the role of the third party, of a third party in the process of reconciliation, Brother Eric?
Okay, you have already said it. The fragments that has come out from a whole number can never be completed again. That is the simple truth. No matter what the third party does. Now, it also depends on the gravity or the magnitude of what has happened. In life, you must have someone who must be your confidant. That is the simple truth. You cannot keep everything to yourself.
Okay.
You cannot keep everything to yourself. Now, since I made mention of some things now, even siblings betray themselves. That is how life is. Even siblings betray themselves. Sometimes you can find confidence in those persons who are not even giving birth from the same womb. Understand? They don't even come from the same womb or the same family. We can get family members from extended families, you understand? Now, at this point in time, if the gravity of the issue is very, very high, no matter what the third party does, I think at that point you can just have a neutral ground, having peace. Sometimes both parties will want to just go separate ways, but they have settled. They want to just go separate ways to avoid these same issues reoccurring and occurring again. Understand? So most times, I feel when trust is broken, and mostly if the gravity is very, very high, it is very, very hard for you to get it back the way it was. You can just have it on its surface. You might not be able to go down deep. You would definitely see some of the actions, maybe party A might be giving to party B, when maybe party B is asking of some things. He will just be explaining on the surface, not want to go down very deep. As friends, as close persons, there are sometimes you want to trust in somebody. To say, okay, I am telling you this. You might not be telling the person because you're telling them, I'm telling you this to keep it.
Okay.
You can also tell some people, you tell the person, and tomorrow if the person gets to hear this from outside, you'll be like, so if I told this person something very big, something as dicey as this, maybe I would have been outside, you understand? So at some point in time, if anything goes wrong, the third party's work is just to see how to just maintain peace. Let us just have decorum and see how we can move on. But sometimes there will be no total forgiveness. That is the simple truth.
Okay, you made mention of at every point in time we have a confidant, someone we tell our in and out,
Yes.
our everything that concerns us. Now let's liken this to a scenario where this confidant of yours, this is someone you trust. It could be just a friend, not a sibling from the same mother or the same parent, just a friend whom maybe over time has turned into a brother or a sister because of the closeness. And this person, you have been able to leak all your secrets to this person. At the end of the day, he or she leaks your secrets to another person. Is there still room for, let's look at forgiveness and forgetting. Is there still room for something like that?
You have already said it. At this particular point in time, you cannot go back to the same finger that had to bite you so drastically that you have seen it. This point, there can be forgiveness. If the room was created, there will be forgiveness. But the point where you know very well that if you go back again, you can be hurt more than the way it was, you will definitely have to avoid it. It has happened, you have to move on. That is one thing we need to know about life. For persons who find it very difficult to forgive, you have to understand that when something happens, it has happened. You have to forgive. If you do not forgive, you will not be at rest. That is the simple truth. Even if the person has hurt you so bad, you have to try and forgive so that you too, you'll be at rest. Because you are the first person that is carrying the burden. I made mention of, imagine you see the person that two of you are in very, very bad mood and you're not talking. If you see the person and the person is coming and you're coming, you start changing direction. So where you're supposed to move freely and move and say hello, hi, and pass. Even if you do not want to be that close to the person, you have to try and forgive. You might not be able to forget because you do not want the same thing happen. Because if you forgive and forget, you definitely want to go back to that same source and want to reconcile and start sharing the same secret again, which is not really possible. But it's very important that we have to forgive. No matter what happens, you must learn to forgive. Because if you do not forgive, you're not also forgiving yourself, and you will not have that peace of mind. How will you still be carrying somebody? I don't know how people really feel comfortable when they have somebody soaked inside them, carrying the person so heavy in their chest, and you're still moving and you're breathing. You need to thank God for that kind of messages. So please, it is you need to try, no matter what the gravity of the issue is. I know I'm here saying no matter what, but it can be so hard that you will feel that you will not want to forgive this person forever and ever. But you have to try every means to forgive. When you forgive, you have to also be guided and understand that the world is not as sweet as you think. You have to limp before you fall. It is very good for us to limp, not just standing with your two legs. You have to limp. Before you say you want to have trust, I need to make this. Before you say you want to trust a particular person, I think there must be an instance, one or two instances to have proven. Scientists will say once you have a decision, you have to have a proof or to show that this particular thing is this. We have some values in science that says this is this, 3.142 is pi. Something has to be proven to show that 3.142 is pi. So you have to prove those people that you want to trust. It is said that we have to trust God. God has proven beyond every reasonable doubt that if you trust him, you are safe, you are sound, and you are secure. And we've not gotten anybody like God. And we cannot have anybody like him that we can trust completely. But we can also build little bridges to those persons that we believe that we can share one or two things after we must have given them one or two instances. But we still have, when you're trusting also, you still have to be open for betrayal. That is the simple truth. This is what comes with trust. Once there is trust, there must be betrayal at some point in time. It might be maximum, minimum, as the case may be to the person is concerned. But understand that once you're trusting somebody, there must be betrayal at some point in time.
Okay.
Yeah, because it is a natural law, because it started right from the top, if you understand what I mean.
No, we don't understand.
Okay, it started with God and the one who was closest to him,
okay,
you know, in his first advent,
okay,
you know. What is his name that was casted?
Lucifer.
Lucifer, yes. According to all that I have read,
the creation story.
Creation, he was the closest. He knew everything. The one bestowed with so much knowledge, wisdom, beauty, height, everything, you know. So like when I say the trust and betrayal actually started from the top, this is what I mean. He was trusted, but then the trust got into his head, and then he wanted to become the one seen and the one everybody should bow to and the rest. But it didn't end beautifully. You know, and it will never still end. It will never, like, even if it were to, it will still never. So let me come back to, I just want to add up to what Brother Eric said about what you asked him about, you know, letting, telling the third party being your closest friend, you know. And then let me tell you something. Anybody who spills, any of your friend who spills when they are angry is never and will never be your friend. Yeah. Because just like what we said earlier, everybody is aware of what they are doing. So if I am angry with you, Stella, and then I use that as a yardstick to let everything out, I was never your friend. I was just an ear to the market. And now that I am, in fact, you have just triggered me a little, I'm ready to pick up the microphone. In fact, at the biggest, where is the biggest market here in Calabar? I'm there at the market already, because like I want to really, I want to let it, like, let me state it categorically clear that I was never your friend. If I am your friend, I should not betray you. Even when you get me upset, I should be able to keep some things low. True. Knowing fully well that that secret is not the one that got me upset. So why am I angry with the secret? Yeah. The same way you told me your secret, I'm sure I also told you my own secret. Okay. And even when we were having exchanging words, as our normal girly thing, you never spilled mine. Okay. So why am I the one now spilling yours? It means you were only the one in the friendship and I was not the one. I was never in there. I was just one leg in because I'm here for information, and the other leg out because I want to spill the information. So a true friend would never do that, and when that happens, I don't think there are chances for reconciliation.
There might be reconciliation chances, but maybe total forgiveness.
Yeah, you might want to just be like, okay, for family's sake, because of you, I became close to your family became close to my family, we are almost like siblings now. So because if I'm angry with you, I might want to extend it to your family, so I can reconcile with you, you know. But then again, the trust will never be there, because you did not just break it, you grinded the trust. Okay. And then you took it to the ocean, and the ocean has taken it away. So there will be nothing like that again. And as a person, if you are watching this, I feel like there are chances actually for reconciliation. But the forgiveness will be there, but forgetting totally will not be there, because I feel like if you have chances, for instance, you have a friend who is on oxygen, and then the friend gets you upset, because all of us, the same way we think people get us upset, if he be say the one way they do another person self even feel worse past you get, that's how it is. It's just that our own now we don't know, because the dancer does not know if you are actually getting the steps correctly. The beholder is the one to tell you. Now, if I am opportune, or somebody, maybe you have a friend who is on oxygen, and because you are angry, you want to teach the friend a lesson, and then you go and disconnect the oxygen, the chances are this person will die. Yeah. You get, the person might not live long again if God is not by the person's side. Then what are the chances that this person will come back to life, and then you start saying, I'm sorry, I allowed anger to get the best of me. There are some things that are irreversible, and that's why I'm using this as an instance. Okay. You unplug the person's oxygen, the person is dead. There is no chances of forgiving that person, and it has been recorded that this is what you did because you were angry. This person is gone and gone for good. The same thing applies to some things friends do to each other, and think, is it not life? After all, you have wronged somebody. It's okay, forgive, but then be careful, because even our father says, use carrying to do, because Stella,
be as wise as a serpent.
Even so, it's teaching us already. You get, it's teaching us how to live life. He did not say, I have enemies, or stop talking to this person, talk to this person, speak to everybody. But then again, you should know that people have different nature. The same way you see snake and run, there are some humans you should see and be careful. Use a longer, in fact, double, go and meet somebody. Well, another iron, it should be long enough for you to use in eating, you get. Okay. But then there is still a kind of relationship.
Okay, thank you very much, Sister Ruth Obu and Brother David Eric. At this point in time, we're just going to take a quick break. We'll be right back shortly.
BCS Music. BCS Music.
Lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence cometh my help, from the Lord. Anything I do, anything I say, even when I smile, even when I cry, fortress and shield. Oh Lord, my master and king. Oh Lord, I give you all praise, my Lord and King. Ebube dike, obiomale, agune jimba, onye nemema, songi kam no po, oge no no bazam, oh zam, oh zamonda, zamo papa, zamo daddy, zamo onywe, makala ibuchi. I will lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence cometh my help, from the Lord. Anything I do, anything I say, even when I smile, even when I cry, Lord, I need you.
BCS Music.
When you're far away from home and your candlelight is low, stars will see you through, for you are not alone. You've lost the way to go, it's not the end of the road. Lights will guide you home, I'll always stand by you, and I will be your friend. When the road is rough and cold, you'll never walk alone in this evil world of sin. And I will lead the way and ignite your candle flames. Stars will guide you home, I'll always stand by you. So don't forget the road that leads you home. Don't forget there is a candle you hold. Stars will guide you home, they will guide you home. I'll always stand by you. Don't forget, the Lord is your stronghold. He's your anchor when your candle is low. Stars will guide you home, I'll always stand by you. In this journey of life, my words should guide your heart. Come rain or sunshine, I'll always stand by you. In the registry of life, we must go through pain for gain. Stars will guide you home, I'll always stand by you. And I will be your friend. When the road is rough and cold, you'll never walk alone in this evil world of sin. I will lead the way and ignite a candle flames. Stars will guide you home, I'll always stand by you. So don't forget, so don't forget, road that leads you home. And don't forget, that is a guide you home. The stars will guide you home. Yeah, I'll always stand by you. So don't forget, the Lord is your stronghold. He's your anchor when your candle is low. Stars will guide you home. I'll always stand by you.
When darkness falls and fears arise, oh, do not forget the Lord is your greatest might. He said, I will walk beside you through the tears and the battle. Also the stars will guide you home to a place of refuge. As you toil, legion surrounds you. As you sleep, my words protect you. As you wake, my light leads the way. You are not alone. Shine my name in the dark. You see my wonders and might in your life. I will always be beside you, hand in hand. I'll never leave your pride. Stars will guide you home. Stars will guide you home. Stars will guide you home. So do not forget.
Don't forget.
Do not forget. You are not alone.
Don't forget.
You are not alone. Stars will guide you.
I'll always stand by you.
Don't
forget. The Lord is your stronghold. He's your anchor when your candle is low. Stars will guide you home. I'll always stand by you.
always stand by you.
Papa
We go present. Oh, we go sing.
my soul.
It is well, it is well with our soul. Wide awake while the world is sound asleep. Too afraid of what may show up while you're dreaming. Nobody sees you, and nobody would believe you. Every day you try to think of
We'll never fail you. Leader on the man, we'll never disappoint. I am sure that leader on the man will never fail me. I am sure that leader on the man will never disappoint. I am sure that Olumba will never forsake me. I am sure that leader Olumba will never disappoint. Please, if you know this song, then join me. Feel yourself into the spirit. The Father is here. Our Father is Holiness Olumba Olumba, who is here. Will never fail me. I am sure that leader Olumba will never disappoint. I am sure that leader Olumba will never fail me. I am sure that leader Olumba will never disappoint. I am sure that Olumba will never forsake me. I am sure that leader Olumba will never disappoint. I am sure that Olumba will never forsake me. I am sure that leader Olumba will never disappoint. I am sure that leader Olumba will never disappoint. I am sure that leader Olumba will never disappoint. Thank you, Father.
Thank you. Please put your hands together for Adore the Musical King. Beloved brethren, for sure our Father will never disappoint. Thank you so very much for that beautiful performance, Adore the Musical King.
A few years ago, or 7 years ago precisely, I wasn't a star in Star Cross Television, but I was called to perform here in this same event, in this very hall. And the song I want to do this time is a reflection, because the TV house here sends a message of repentance and good works. So it's a song that has been going on, that has been trending online and all of that. So DJ, please, let's go together. Even when I'm gone. Thank you very much.
It's good to know that you are still glued to this very wonderful episode of the Morning Star Breakfast show here on Star Cross Television, where our topic still centers on the power of reconciliation. Yes, before we went on that very quick break, we had my co-presenters here, Sister Ruth Obo and Brother David Eric, talk in-depthly about this particular topic, where they've also given us their own take, their own opinion on what this topic is all about. Our phone line is still displayed on your screen. Do well to also give us your contribution. Thank you very much to Itai Henry, who also contributed his quota, his idea on the said topic of discussed this morning. I still remain Stella Obina. Welcome back, Sister Ruth Obo.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Brother David Eric.
Thank you so much.
Yes, to wrap up this topic, we're still looking at the scenario of Delilah and Samson, where Samson trusted Delilah very much as his better half, but due to one reason or the other, bribery or something, she had to spill out the power behind, or the reason behind Samson's powers, which was his hair. Yeah. And in that situation, I don't know, let's say something very funny. If Samson was to, let's say, forgive or reconcile with Delilah, okay, let's use a modern day kind of marriage, for instance. As a wife or as a sister, you had to sell out your husband's source of income, maybe source of powers, to his enemies. And then your husband gets to know that you, his own trusted friend, because both of you are friends now, you, his most trusted friend, had to sell out that precious information out to not just any other person, but his enemy. Brother Eric, if you're to be in Samson's shoes, what would be your action towards Delilah?
It's a very difficult one, but at this point in time, I think being cautious is the best thing. I will not want to be beaten twice. Definitely, I'm going to leave it in the hands of God. I will forgive in my own capacity, but I will never go back, so that I will not be beaten twice. You have shown what you can offer, so at this point in time, I have to accept what you have brought to the table. I have to forgive, because forgiving you is forgiving myself, because if I don't forgive you, I cannot move on.
Okay.
That is the simple truth. So I will have to definitely forgive you so that I can be able to move on. But I think I will have to apply all precautionary measures to make sure I am safe and sound from that kind of problem ever again. So that's what I'm going to do.
Sister Eric, sorry. No. Sorry for that. No. Sister Ruth, let's now go.
I know she wants to stand for Delilah, but
Sister Ruth, okay. Let's come from the angle of you being Delilah. Now, if you're to be Delilah, who you had...
So, I think I'm going to ask this question.
Okay.
After successfully betraying Samson, how will you feel going back to ask for that same trust? Like, do you expect that you're going to be getting those same trust, that same feelings, all the treatment in return? Do you still see yourself entitled to getting everything? I don't know how these people will feel when they betray somebody or when you break somebody's trust, but that they still feel entitled, that they can still go back and get what they already had before.
First and foremost, I would tender my sincerest apology, but I will not make an attempt to go back because of fear of revenge.
Go back to repeating the same thing?
Like going back to having the same state that you were before?
Yes, going back to the relationship or marriage in that scenario, in that context, I would tender my sincerest apology, but I would not want
resign.
To... Yeah, exactly. Because of fear of, retaliation. I feel like maybe you would want to get back at me, and I may not be able to withstand your punch, the weight of your punch. So I would apologize and go my own way. But I want us to understand something, that there was never love, because you sold your... Forget about the fact that it was in your own maybe side. So these people came to you that this person is here and this is what he has done. We want to retaliate. We want to revenge. This is your husband. Do you understand? Once you get attached to somebody, that is your own family.
Of course.
You know, every other family, I feel like they are secondary now. Your own family matters, but it never mattered to her. And that was why she, willingly sold her husband out. So I wouldn't say there was ever anything binding them. It was just it was just there for that purpose of betrayal. Because he had done something, remember. So they wanted to get back That was why they passed through the person closest to him, because you will never be able to go straight. So to me, I would apologize and go my own way if I want to still be alive.
Okay, thank you very much. If she was to be Delilah, she would apologize and then resign. Okay, Brother Eric has also made us understand that he will, if he was to be Samson, he will definitely forgive Delilah, but he will have to also tread with caution, just so that the betrayer does not come up again the second time, because once bitten the say is twice shy. Yeah. So you have to be absolutely careful. Okay, can be more than twice. Okay, so you have to be absolutely careful if you, whether or not you want to forgive someone. You should also tread with caution, because some persons, the venom they pour out can also be much more poisonous, like the second or third time.
It could even burn you to the point whereby you might not be able to even forgive. Okay. Like Sister Rue did mention, some venom can hurt you that you leave the surface of the earth and you stay somewhere and start regretting, you understand? So we have to be very, very careful of the things that are around, you understand? It is one thing that though someone is going to beg for forgiveness, but you, the one that is being hurt, how far is the damage on you? Sometimes you might be damaged to the point whereby you cannot even stand up from where you are. You cannot even get hold of yourself. We might be seeing you somewhere else, or in remembrance in our mind. This is how some people go as far as hurting some persons. So I think we need to be very, very cautious around everything that we do. We also have to embrace the fact that we can forgive. But in the fact that we want to also forgive, it is said that a man has to protect himself. You have to try every means to protect yourself, because there are so many dangerous things roving around in sheep clothing. So we have to try and beg God at every point in time to give us the eyes for us to see. Say we should test all spirits, for us to see with thirst. And if we're living with this cautiousness of understanding that we can be harmed at every point in time, we can also give our mind open and know that sometimes when this thing, we should not think or we should not hope too much. We should not put much expectations, because if you have a lot of expectations coming in, definitely when you get hurt, it's going to be affecting you very, very much. Understand? So we should also leave our minds open and try not to expect much and try to stay safe. That's what I have to say.
And also pray that we don't be that which we are afraid of another person doing to us.
Yes, that's another thing. Most persons do not want to get hurt, but they are the ones who chant this chorus. They don't even chant, they lead the race. And when the same thing happens to them, they will tend to lament. They don't mind as going to social media to drag somebody and so on and so forth. So I think in as much as you always perpetrate the habit of putting pains, inflicting pains, I think some people derive joy. I don't know whether they derive joy, but I think they derive joy when they hurt someone.
Okay. Maybe they don't, but that's just their nature.
No, you cannot have that kind of nature. You can always pray for that kind of nature to be changed.
A snake is a snake. I like to use snake because we know
what's the nature of snake.
We know the nature of. So some humans who portray that kind of attitude, that's just their nature. That's who they are built to. And remember, even in that nature, they are still blessing people. They don't know that their attitude is actually a blessing to others until you push somebody and somebody is like, I don't want your problem, and run and go and enter their good destiny. Okay. That's how they bless people. I don't know.
Well, I think we should not just encourage the act of being the tempter every time. Like you always tempting somebody, like you are the focal point. When they call temptation, they mention your name. When they call temptation, you are there. You're always there to tempt people. And you always be there to ask for forgiveness over and over again, because you know that maybe forgiveness is free. You derive pleasure in tempting people over and over and say, please forgive me. Please forgive me. How long will you keep asking for forgiveness?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You shouldn't always be the tempter, because most times we can't really give or collect or harbor what we give out. Yes. Yeah, there are times when you, just like you said, you're when they call temptation, you're always there. When they call anything negativity, you're always there. But you cannot. When someone does the same thing to you, you cannot absorb it. So make sure you are not that kind of person. Always be in a peaceful place. Okay.
Yes, from Josephine Otoye. She says, Perfect Peace presenters. This topic is very interesting topic. It's not really easy because a friend of mine did this same thing to me. When it happened, I never knew she was the one. Well, she was the one. Well, have forgiven her, but it has made me to say to myself that I will never have a friend again.
Oh wow, you see, one thing you have
learned.
done to someone, yes, the person now has, you know, gone back to his or her shell just so that particular thing will not repeat itself.
Yeah.
But it's not actually a good thing anyways. So let us always try to advise ourselves, so that as you don't hurt someone so deep that they don't always want that introvert kind of lifestyle. Want to come in, okay, I was an extrovert last year, but because of that lifestyle I was hurt, I was deeply hurt, so because of that let me just withdraw and stay on my own, on your own, you get. So please let us always try to advise ourselves, and then see not to be that negative, that person with a negative mindset all the time.
Yeah.
It is still the Morning Star Breakfast Show. It is not over until it is over. We still have one interesting segment for you before we wrap up this session. So please stay glued as we bring to you our next segment for today's episode. We'll be right back.
Manang ofon sigi wanga menegeru sege dwoge memen nda sigi somne manang emem uzurofon ofon yara uzurofon
Welcome back. Now this is the last segment for today's episode, and here with me I still have Sister Ruth Obo with us. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And then the lady who takes us through the corridors of history, she is no other than Sister Ebimobore Rex. Peace of the Father, Sister
Peace
Rex.
of the Father, Sister Stella Obina. Good morning, Sister Ruth Obo. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. So shoot, what do you have for us today?
Okay, yes, today in history is a wonderful one. We do tell you things that happened today and different years. So let's go straight to what we have for you. And number one on our list here is the National Religious Freedom Day, which is celebrated in the United States. Observed on January 16th in the United States. National Religious Freedom Day commemorates the historical passage of the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom on January 16th, 1786, a groundbreaking law authored by Thomas and championed by James Madison. This statute emerged from a period of intense struggle against religious coercion and state-sponsored worship in colonial America, where dissenting faiths were often marginalized or punished. The law firm established the faith and belief as matters of personal conscience, not government control, and it later became the philosophical foundation of the first Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Moving forward, we also have Teachers' Day in Thailand, celebrated annually on January 16, was instituted in the year 1957 to honor educators as moral guide, national builders, and also custodian of knowledge within the Thai society. Moving forward, we also have the Book Publishers' Day, observed on January 16 worldwide. Book Publishers' Day recognizes the indispensable role of publishers as the unseen architect of knowledge dissemination, emerging from the expansion of literacy, education, and intellectual exchange. The day honors those who transform manuscript into accessible work that shape culture, preserve history, and advance science. Moving forward, we also have the International Rooibos Day. International Rooibos Day, marked on January 16th, celebrates the cultural, economic, and medicinal significance of the Rooibos tea, perfume-free herbal infusion, indigenous to South Africa, rooted in centuries-old indigenous knowledge, sustainability, and unique flavor, promoting and prompting international acknowledgement of its heritage. Moving forward, we also have the National Quinoa Day, is observed on January 16. Celebrates the quinoa, an ancient superfood cultivated for over 5,000 years by the indigenous people of the Andean region of South America, once a sacred crop of an Inca civilization, to global prominence due to growing awareness of nutrition, food security, and sustainable agriculture. The day highlights the food exceptional nutritional value, acceptability to harsh climate, and adaptability to harsh climate, and role in combating hunger. Moving forward, we also have National Without a Scalpel Day, observed on January 16th in the United States, celebrate the remarkable advancement in modern medicine that have reduced the need for traditional surgical procedures, backed by innovation in medical technology. The day highlights non-invasive and minimally invasive treatments such as laser therapy, image-guided procedures, and robotic assisted invention. Its importance lies in raising awareness about the safer medical options that minimize pain, shorten recovery time, and also improve patients' outcome. Moving forward, and last for today is the National Good Teen Day, observed on January 16 in the United States. National Good Teen Day was established to counter negative stereotypes surrounding adolescents by celebrating teenagers who exemplify integrity, leadership, kindness, and responsibility. The day emerged from a growing need to acknowledge positive youth contributions in families, schools, and communities, by spotlighting teens who marked constructive choices and impact society positively. The observance encourages mentorship, moral development, and self-worth among young people. So that's all we have for today in history / infotainment. Infotainment today happens to be Friday, so please do well to attend your activities via your different Bethel level. And also want to say happy birthday to all those that were born today. Sorry, we don't have any person in particular to celebrate. That's because you did not send your information. But Starcross TV is saying happy birthday to you all. Thank you very much for having me. That's all we have for today in history / infotainment. Thank you very much, Sister Rutabu, and thank you very much, Sister Stella Albina, for this wonderful time.
Okay, thank you very much, Sister Abirex, for giving us all this wonderful information about everything that happened today, different years and locations. So briefly, Sister Ruth Obo, what do you have to tell our audience as regards our topic of discourse, your last words to our audience before we call it a wrap?
Be nice to people, forgive easily, but be very, very careful with them, you know, and be free. Pray not to be who you are. You would not want another person to be to you.
Okay, be free and pray not to be that person whom you wouldn't want another person to be to you. Thank you very much, Sister Ruth. But Sister Rex, what do you have for our audience?
Really? Okay, yes. I want to toe the line of Sister Ruth Obo. She has said it all, that we should be kind to each other, because you don't want what you don't want another person to do to you, so don't do to the next person. Always be appreciative. See the good in the next person, because if you don't want to, you need to look for that good, you know. Because if you don't look for that good, you will term that person bad in anything he or she is doing. So try to see good in anybody that comes your way. Thank you very much.
Okay, try to see good in everybody and everything people do. Do not always see everything, negative things about people. So that is all we have for you on today's Friday episode of the Morning Star Breakfast show here on Star Cross Television. Do well to enjoy the rest of the program. Till we meet again, I remain Stella Obina. Bye for now.